च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतार वरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः। रामकृष्णाय ते नमः।
ओम सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम तत्सत्। The previous Sunday we had studied verses 37 and 38 in the 4th chapter, where the subject of jnana comes in, knowledge. As fire destroys a pile of wood, reduces them to ashes, so also all karma is destroyed and transformed by and into jnana. That jnana is compared to a fire, jnana agni. I took some time to explain this beautiful idea, lighting the fire of knowledge in our hearts. Just we had a youth convention here last Sunday, the second convention. Some students were here, about 200-300, but 3 or 4 of them have inscribed their names on the chairs. Now, if only he could think for himself, what am I doing? Why spoil this chair? That discriminative fire, that is jnanagni, questioning this action of mine. Is it worthwhile? Is it proper? That is how you will light the fire of knowledge. In small instances, you can experience this presence of the fire of knowledge. The whole context becomes changed thereby. A beautiful hall, fine chairs, he just inscribed his name on the chair. Only 3 or 4 of them. There is no thinking. There is no fire of jnana at all. Just action, that's all. Any animal can do it. What is wrong with an animal when he does it? But when it is done by a human being, there is great wrong, because he has the capacity to transform all action into jnana by lighting the fire of jnana. So these are all instances where in our whole education there is not a lighting of the fire of jnana. There is reading books, hearing lecture, memorizing something, all that is there. But have you lit the fire of jnana in yourself? That is what he said here. Yathaidhamse samidhogni bhasmasat kurve arjuna jnanagni sarvadharmani bhasmasat kurute tatha. All actions will be reduced to ashes by the fire of knowledge. That is greatness of man. He acts, but the whole thing comes from a deeper source, that fire of knowledge by which the whole of life becomes well organized, well disciplined, and fruitful from every point of view. In cosmological language, you can say, in the beginning, there was nothing. Background material was there, immovable. That is the state. Anidavatam, as the Rigveda puts it, it existed without any movement, without any action, without any karma. What they call in modern philosophical language, process. Processes are not bigger. The universe is a product of process. Behind the process is being, pure being. Then comes this process, reality and process. And the whole process is transformed into reality. What we are now doing is, we are going down into the process that Big Bang which took place before the creation. From that time, every fraction of a second, the world is passing through processes. More and more concrete world is coming. Beginning it was not a concrete world. For example, electrons, protons and other things never existed. The first few moments of creation. Much later they began to appear. Differentiation. Molecules come much later. Then this substantial universe which you live in, all these come later. These are called processes. These are up to human level, completely processes, one by one. Process cannot do anything except be in process. It's an object. It has no freedom. But when it comes to the human level, we can return the process back to being. That capacity we have. There comes jnana. This karma becomes transformed into jnana. So that this origin from which we have come, we can understand that origin. We can become one with it. No object in the world can do so. That is because in the Vedanta conception, that background material was not a mere material entity. It is pure consciousness, infinite and non-dual. Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Brahma. Brahman is truth, being. Then Jnanam, consciousness. Anantam, infinitude. That is the primordial reality. We have to go back to that reality. That's what man has been endowed with the capacity for jnana. It is through jnana you go back to your own origin. What is this universe? Where from has it come? What is my true nature? This kind of understanding, the whole process of it is known as jnana. So jnana is able to take us back to the original state, to understand what is that ultimate reality, that Brahman, no object in the world can do so. They are all subject to processes. They are being processed, but we are also partly being processed by nature. But we can process ourselves. We can stop the process of nature. We have that freedom. This is what takes us to the higher level of jnana. No object in the world has jnana except of the most elementary kind. It can understand the world, that is all. This little material world. Jnanamasti samastasya jantor vishayagochare. In the Devi Mahatmyam, that great book, Glory of the Divine Mother, occurs this slogan. For all these creatures, their knowledge exists only in that sensory apparatus. That's all. Nothing higher than sensory knowledge. Some sensation comes and some reaction takes place. That action-reaction is the process of knowledge they have. All limited by the sensory system. It is only in the human being we can go beyond this processing of sensory level knowledge into real knowledge. That knowledge is where we reach the ultimate reality. For that reality's name is knowledge itself. Jnanam. What is Brahman? Jnanam. Pure consciousness. Absolute knowledge. That starts as a process just called creation. I am one, let me become the many. In the Upanishad it is put, the origin of creation, as a thought in that great infinite ocean of consciousness. I am one, let me become the many. The world of the many is the world coming through that process, through action. Through action alone, you can evolve this world. Cosmic evolution means action. That is karma. That's called process in philosophical language in the West. So, reality or being on the one side, process. What is this process? It is really reality itself. That primordial background material which exploded, that became the universe. So what is the universe? That itself. In the processing of that universe, you found new materials coming. In the beginning, there was only pure energy. Then, slowly, it became differentiated into the protons, electrons and other things. Much later. Then only molecules came. Then starry systems came. Star dust accumulating together, becoming a starry universe system. Then the sun, then the earth, planets. These are all come later and later. So this is a process that is going on. We are also part of that process. But this particular entity called man can understand this process, can also reverse it, go back to the original state from which we came. That is a new discovery. Modern science has not yet discovered that, because its background reality is purely material, physical, dull, dead matter. It can't do it. But consciousness can do. That infinite consciousness stirs in you and me, limited by the body-mind complex. Therefore, here is a great challenge before the human mind. Let us be part of the process, but let us also be the observer of the process. That wonderful word, observer, S-R-T. You are not part of it. You are outside of it. You are watching it. You are seeing it. You are trying to know it. You can control it. Then you turn to yourself. Try to understand the body, the various sensory system here, the psychic system, and what lies beyond it. That is my true nature. That infinite Atman, that pure consciousness is pulsing in me. I can realize that truth. This is something wonderful. That is the uniqueness of man. The famous mathematician mystic, I think Pascal, he made a beautiful statement. He said, in space, the universe engulfs me and reduces me to a pinpoint. That is the first sentence. Physically speaking, spatially speaking, what are we? A small speck of dust. The immensity of the universe. We are nobody in that universe. We are so small. That is called part of the process. We are part of this cosmic process. There we are nothing. A small speck of dust. Having said this, in the next sentence he says, but through thought we understand that universe. That infinite universe that is engulfing me with this power of thought, where jnana comes in, we are able to comprehend it, to understand it, and go beyond it ourselves. That is the mystery of man. If you don't accept this mystery, you have not understood even a bit of the human system. This is slowly understood in the Western physical science, nuclear science today, where the observer is becoming an important datum for investigation. In nuclear science, the observer plays a great part. By the act of observation, he changes nature around him. Therefore, it is a big datum to be investigated. Let us try to investigate it. That is the situation in physical science. So, the jnanam that is mentioned in this 37th verse is that being, infinite pure consciousness, pulsing in you, in me, in all. We neglect it. We don't take care of it. In our day-to-day life, when we go to school and study books, we are actually going there for browsing the jnana within us, but we completely neglect it. We only stuff the brain with some facts and formulae and live an indifferent life, just like a part of the process of nature. What about your uniqueness? That is what you have to discover. When you do so, this sloga becomes meaningful. Sarvam karmakhilam partha jnane parisamapyate. All this process came from the infinite consciousness, the infinite reality behind this universe, from Brahman. All process came from that Brahman. In our theological language we say, Brahman, infinite reality, prompted Brahma. Brahma came from the lotus from the navel of Vishnu on a lotus, and he is the one who started this process. The entire process of the universe began from Brahma. The other is Brahman in the neutral gender. This is the masculine gender. So that is how in theological language as well as artistic language we describe the nature of reality and process and reality. Brahman knew that within himself is the infinite Brahman of the infinite consciousness, and he has asked me to create this world, to project this world. That explosion took place through that particular mental activity of this Brahman. Jnanamayam tapaha. Brahma heard a sound. Looked around, nobody was there. Where from the sound has come? And what was the sound? Tapa, tapa. Do tapas, do tapas. What kind of tapas? Jnana tapas. Yasyam jnanamayam tapaha. This tapas is jnanamaya. We are dealing with jnanamaya tapas here. Through the jnanamaya tapas, he projected this universe. That was his function. The entire cosmos came out of Brahma. This is the tapas that he did, and that is called being transformed into process, the cosmic process. And it is going on. Age after age it is going on. That is the nature of this world, essentially consciousness in nature. But in this particular cosmic evolution, it develops into material particles and substantial entities like the solar system, the earth, and our day-to-day life here. All these have come from that one infinite source of pure consciousness. The jnana is behind karma, and man can convert that karma into jnana. Nobody else can do, no animal can do, no mere cosmic forces can do. Only man can do it. Sarvam karma akhilam partha jnane parisamapyate. When we do so, we achieve something wonderful. Process will be going on, but we know the whole process is nothing but jnana, nothing but the expression of jnana. Like in a dream, when you have so many activities going on, what are all those activities in dream? Nothing but mind, nothing but jnana. There is nothing but jnana in the dream. But you can't understand it in dream. When you wake up, you understand. It is all jnana only. You worked hard, you broke stoves, you built houses, everything in dream. But when you wake up, nothing but jnana. Pulsation of mind, nothing else. The whole world is jnana from that point of view. That infinite jnana. That is God, according to Vedanta. God is the infinite consciousness, Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Brahma. Where is he? Yo Veda Nihitam Guhayam. He is present in your own heart, in your own self. That infinite one is there in the smallest particle in this universe. That is how we have to realize this truth. That is a great thought occurring Taittiriya Upanishad. Gita is taking from the Upanishads the essential teachings, giving us in a form which will be very practical. So he says, try to convert all action into jnana. That is the source. It must find its own source. That is how sarvam karmakhilam partha jnane parisamapyate, said Krishna. Then try to know this jnana. from people who can teach it to you. He is telling in high praise of jnana, nahi jnanena sadrisham pavitram yavidyate. There is nothing so purifying as knowledge in this world. Jnana is the most purifying entity. All our children go to school. If only they knew they are in search of jnana. It is the most purifying thing to achieve. How much change will come in the educational system and the product of that system. But there is absolutely no understanding of this subject at all, neither among the teachers nor among the students. Nahi said, nahi jnanena sadrisham pavitram yavidyate. Nothing so purifying as knowledge, as jnana in this whole world. Tat swayam yoga samsiddha kale atmani vindati. When you are established in it, slowly, you will achieve the highest realization of your own nature. Kalena atmani vindati. That supreme knowledge you will experience in yourself once you are established in this pursuit of jnana. Even as a primary school student, continue the pursuit of jnana. You will get into the highest jnana, undifferentiated, free from all limitation. That is God. That is jnana. Brahman is described as jnana swarupa, anubhava swarupa, sat swarupa. These are the words Vedanta uses to describe the nature of the highest reality. Anubhava swarupa, pure experience is the nature of Brahman. This experience is one, unity. Atma egatva vidya patipattaye sarve Vedanta arabhyante. The unity of the self, of the nature of pure consciousness. To expound it, all the Upanishads are working hard. So then, Anubhava avasanam, Brahma Vijnana. Knowledge of Brahman consummates in the experience of Brahman. Knowledge of chair doesn't become transformed into a chair. I know the chair, I don't become the chair. I know Brahman, I become Brahman. That's called Anubhava avasana. Anubhava is the thing that you know, you become. That's called Anubhava. If I know truth, I become truth. If I know purity, I become purity. Purity is not something external which I study and write a PhD on the subject. So all such knowledge is assimilation. Vivekananda called education as assimilation of ideas. Whatever knowledge I take, I become transformed into it. That's how character comes. That's where knowledge progresses from secular to spiritual. There is no break between secular and spiritual in Vedantic thinking. Jnanam is purifying agent. Take a village boy, put him to school. Already a purifying agent has come to him. He understands himself, he understands the world. Otherwise he was just a creature. Just any creature like any animal. But a little education gives him that understanding. I am somebody. I am not an item among items. I have an individuality. Atma-jnana begins here. That's the beginning of Atma-jnana. Yet you continue it beyond the school and institutional education, you come to the spiritual education. This is what Krishna is telling here, that your whole life of activity will transform into jnana, into pulsations of knowledge. That is a great achievement which man can have. Nobody else can do it. So, nothing so purifying as jnana, he said. Nahi jnanena sadrisham pavitram yavidyate tatsvayam yoga samsiddha kalena atmani vindati. When you achieve this yoga samsiddha, established in the jnana, the yoga of jnana, you will achieve this knowledge of the Atman kalena, in course of time. You have already gone into the process. That was one process, the evolutionary process. Now this is the process taking you back to the source. These are two ways, pravritti, nivritti. There, from that primordial matter, you created this concrete universe. That's called pravritti. Process as pravritti. Here process as nivritti. Both are process. Sitting in meditation also is a process. You are developing a new type of process which takes you back to your own source, the infinite, the immortal, and the divine. From Brahman we came, in Brahman we live, and to Brahman we return, said the Taittiriya Upanishad. The second process, therefore, is significant so far as man is concerned. He alone can find out his own origin. No other creature in the world can understand its origin. Man alone can do it. That knowledge comes through the second process known as nivritti. The other is pravritti, mind going out, going out, going out, seeing things, etc. Here, the mind going in, the whole of action being transformed from material to spiritual nature. The whole action becomes spiritual. There is nothing unspiritual in human life. The Vedantic vision, everything is pure spirituality. That infinite Brahman is in you, in me, in all. Pulsing. Be neglected. Don't neglect it. Don't neglect it. It is that what gives meaning to what you do. Otherwise you become a creature in the hands of the forces of nature, of those processes of nature. Don't be so. Don't be so. Says Vedanta. Try to understand this truth. The sages have seen the same Atman in every being. That Brahman, which is transcendental, is also present in all of us. This is the realization expounded by sages in the Shvetashvatara Upanishad. A sage having discovered this truth, by this inward process of nivritti, he discovered his own infinite Atman, and then looked out and found the same Atman in everyone. Then he burst out in a beautiful song. Tvam Stri, Tvam Pumanasi, Tvam Kumara, Utava Kumari, Tvam Jirno Dandena Vanchasi, Tvam Jato Bhavasi, Vishyato Mukha. Thou art the man, thou art the woman. See that. Tvam Stri, Tvam Pumanasi, thou art the boy, Kumara. Thou art also the girl, the Kumari. Thou art the old man tottering on the sticks. Thou art born in this multiform ways in this world. So, when you realize the Atman in yourself and look out, you see the same Atman everywhere, infinite. There you have undertaken and succeeded in turning that process from going out to coming in. Pravritti to nivritti. And nivritti is the beginning of morality, ethics, spirituality, everything. That is where the real stability of human civilization comes in. A blending of pravritti and nivritti is what makes for the stability of a civilization. If only pravritti is there, it will be unstable. If only nivritti is there, it will be unstable. But if you can combine pravritti and nivritti, you will be doing wonderful things. This is what Shankaracharya told us in his introduction to his Gita commentary. We have 6 lectures here on that subject, the beginning of this series, which they are available in the cassette also, in 4 cassettes. The pravritti and nivritti constitute the maintenance of this universe on healthy lines. Both are needed. This pravritti gives you abhyudaya. Nivritti gives you nishtrayasa, means freedom, moksha, emancipation. If you want only material benefits, engage in pravritti. Comfortable life you will get out of it. But if you want inner strength, fulfillment, all these things, you must follow nivritti. Pravritti and nivritti must go together. Gita is the supreme book which combines pravritti and nivritti as a totality of human life and human activity. So, both are processes. One is outgoing, the other is incoming. When you begin to think, is what I am doing correct? You are already in nivritti. If you don't think at all, simply do. That's called pravritti. Today's politics and other things you can see, so little thinking, so little nivritti, plenty of pravritti, full of noise, full of fire, full of emotion, full of frenzy. That's why so much of violence, so much of crime. There is no nivritti at all. It is nivritti that brings morality, ethics, and other high values in the society. So this Shankaracharya has said, the beginning itself, Vidito hi Vedokto Dharma Pravritti Lakshano Nivritti Lakshanascha Jagataha Sthiti Karanam. Twofold is the Vedic Dharma taught in the Vedas. One is called Pravritti, the other is called Nivritti. What is their function? Praninam Sakshat Abhyade Nishvesa Hetu. For all beings, these two, Pravritti and Nivritti, will ensure material welfare and spiritual freedom. These two will accrue to you through Pravritti and Nivritti. Man can combine these two. That is what I call a complete philosophy of life. The other is limited, truncated philosophy. This is a total philosophy where all aspects of life are taken into account. That is the Vedanta that is being expounded in the Gita based upon the Upanishads according to Shankara's statement there. Praninam Sakshat Nishvesa Hetu. Abhyudaya Nishvesa Hetu. Abhyudaya is social welfare, good food, sanitation, education, political system, moral life, all these called what you call Abhyudaya. And Nishreyasa, rising higher to the sense of freedom. I am free, I am free, I am free. We may be politically free, but we may not be free as a human being. We are still subject to so much of slavery like any creature. Just like a politically free person stealing money. Just for nothing, he has stolen money. Why did he do so? He has not that freedom. He doesn't know his own nature because he is completely lost in that outward going process. Inward going process has not come. Discrimination has not come. Is it correct to do so? Is this good? Is it worthwhile? Does it good to one and all? That thinking will never come. That thinking is what initiates the other process, the return process to our own origin, to our own devotion, what we call reality within. So, Krishna is telling, in praise of jnana, nothing so purifying as jnana. In all subhuman species, jnana obtains only at the sensory level. Above the sensory level, only man can achieve jnana. That jnana is what liberates. At the sensory level, it doesn't liberate because you become a slave of the external nature. You are consistently a slave of external nature. You remain a creature all the time. Creatureliness and freedom. Both are choices before us. If I behave like this, I remain a creature. If I behave like this, I become free. But man is unique, that he has the capacity to become free. That's why a neurologist will say, for mammals all, various physical developments have taken place in the animal body. That gives that animal only physical survival. But as far as man is concerned, these help him to achieve emancipation, freedom. This is a wonderful statement in modern neurology. Therefore, having spoken about the greatness of jnana, he said, who will get this jnana? Shraddhavan dabhate jnanam, says verse 39. If you have Shraddha, you will get jnana. Shraddhavan dabhate jnanam. Shraddha means faith in oneself, faith in the meaningfulness of this universe. That's called Shraddha. Shraddhavan dabhate jnanam. Shraddha is a great virtue which mere intellectual education can easily destroy. And modern civilization contains so many people who have lost the Shraddha. Every mind is negative. All positive mind is gone. Shankara defines Shraddha in a beautiful phrase. Shraddha is astikya buddhi. The positive frame of mind is called Shraddha. The other is negative frame of mind. What a beautiful idea. A mind which is positive. When you are jostled in life, you are put into difficulty, your mind becomes so defeated. you develop a negative state of mind. And the extreme form of the negative state of mind is called cynical attitude. Mind becomes cynical. Absolutely no faith in truth, no faith in man, no faith in values. That's called cynicism. Shraddha is the opposite of cynicism. The next sloka will deal with the cynical mind. The cynical mind cannot achieve any value because it scorns all values. As Oscar Wilde, the British thinker, has defined cynicism as the cynic is one who knows the price of everything and the value of nothing. He knows the price but not the value. And today there are millions of people, especially among intellectuals, fully cynical. They have got plenty of knowledge, but no Shraddha. Shraddha is gone. So he says, Shraddhavan labhate jnanam. When you go to a school or a college, you go with Shraddha. There is jnana to be achieved. I am going to achieve it here with that positive attitude. Otherwise, what will you get by going to school and college? Shraddhavan labhate jnanam. Tatparaha. Devoted to that. Devoted to truth. Tat is the supreme word for the highest reality. Tatparaha. Samyata indriya. The tremendous discipline of the sensory energies. You can't rise to knowledge until you discipline the sensory energies. Animals do not discipline sensory energies, but man has to discipline. And today, our civilization doesn't like the word discipline or even self-discipline. We don't want it at all. We want a spontaneous life, just like any animal. I saw this dominance of this philosophy in the modern mind when I was traveling in the United States, when I reached Portland. The radio there invited me to give a 20 minutes interview, night 10 o'clock. So I went there. That man was very fine, very modern, very full of energy, with an open mind. But his knowledge was limited. He admitted later on. Then, as I was talking, a few minutes passed, I said, we need a certain discipline of our energies within. As soon as I said it, he shouted into the radio, we don't care for discipline. We don't like it. We want to be spontaneous. We want to be natural with a sense of triumph, he said. Then I told Mr. So-and-so, I also like naturalness, spontaneity. That is the highest state of human life. But I find there is a need for discipline of certain energies within to achieve that high state of spontaneity. Mere spontaneity is not enough. A cow or an animal is spontaneous in behavior. I said, you don't expect a cow not to pass urine on the road, but you train a human child certain toilet disciplines. Without that, he won't be a human child at all. As soon as I said this, he shouted again into the radio, saying, here this man from India, wonderful. I have never heard this idea. Without a discipline, you can't become a human being even. Some toilet discipline is essential, otherwise you'll be like an animal. And when I said, in your talk, you are praising highly Pandit Ravishankar's sitar recital. How natural, how spontaneous, beautiful, very correct. But did you ever stop to think that behind this spontaneity lies years of hard discipline? Without that discipline, you could not have been spontaneous like this. But that is something wonderful, something wonderful. By that time, 20 minutes were over. And they sweetly asked me, are you tired? Shall we continue? I am not tired. I can go on as long as you like. And for 2 hours it continued. 20 minutes became 2 hours. I am telling this only to tell. There is this thinking among the people in modern civilization that any type of discipline is anathema. We don't want. We want to be spontaneous. We want to be natural. Whatever comes, I must say, like that. But you will remain what you are. Never growth will take place. So he said, this energy at the physical level must be disciplined. Then you can transform it into higher energy. That is how man grows. That's how character comes. That's how man achieves the highest knowledge and excellence of character. That truth must go into the heart of people. We don't believe in all this. We believe in what you call at that time. We believe in what you call spontaneity, naturalness. In fact, the philosophy by which we live is this kind of impulse release philosophy. This is what they told me in America during 68 and 69 when I was traveling there. They call spontaneous activity, impulse release. Whatever impulses come, release it. Don't check it. Don't discipline it. Don't verify it. Don't refine it. Let it go out. That is the philosophy by which most young people are living today. And the result is at a very low level. All the evils come, all crime, delinquency, and many other evils are filling society. At some stage, man will realize that physical life and sensory life is not his highest state. He can go beyond that sensory level. By disciplining sensory energy, he transforms them into a higher type of energy. That is what man alone can do. I use the word refining. Just like crude oil is taken from the earth and you refine it. You have the refineries and produce beautiful petroleum products. Why do you refine crude energy? Why don't you use crude energy only? No, we want high-class energy. That comes only through refined crude energy. Then only you can get beautiful products out of the petroleum that you have as refining material. So in this way, Krishna is saying here, says, Shraddhavan labhate jnana. Those who have Shraddha, they will achieve jnana. That Shraddha or faith in oneself and in the meaningfulness of the world around you. A scientist is doing an experiment regarding some aspect of nature. Why does he do so? He has Shraddha. He knows there is something hiding in nature and there to discover the truth. Suppose in advance he knew there is no truth at all. Will he ever enter into a scientific investigation? So Shraddha means the meaningfulness of the world. I have accepted it. I am going on that direction. And I have a faith in myself that I have the organic capacity to pierce the veil that covers the truth there. This is the nature of Shraddha. Without Shraddha, there is no physical science. Without Shraddha, there is no spiritual development. I have developed this subject fully in the first volume of the Eternal Values, Science and Religion, Faith and Reason. 2 lectures are there in that first volume. So, it says, Shraddhavan labhate jnanam tatparaha. You are in search of truth, not mere appearances. What is a scientist after? He is after truth. Many appearances are there, but when he penetrates, he finds these are not correct. There is another thing. The world looks flat, but the world is actually a globe. That comes from investigation. With the senses, you cannot understand this truth. So every scientist takes physical facts and investigates them, then finds out the truth behind them. He doesn't remain at the physical fact, at the sensory data. Sensory data is only the raw material, but the processing of the data is a real scientific method. So also in religion, all the sensory level we live, eat, drink, is this all? There is nothing higher. There is nothing higher. Man has the capacity to go beyond it. He doesn't do so. So some sort of distraction comes with human psyche. That is what is going on today in that impulse release philosophy by which most young people live. There is need for discipline of this high physical energy. It becomes transformed into psychic, moral, ethical, spiritual energy. This kind of refining you have to do yourself. Nobody else can do it for you. But somebody can help you and show you this is the way to do it. But people must understand the truth of it and then engage in that kind of refining process, refining the whole of experience so that pure truth comes out of that experience. Keep that as a goal. Tatparaha, devoted to that. I am in search of truth. This life is a search for truth. And the human mind alone has the capacity to seek truth, not live on mere appearances, or mere physical data. Tattaraha, samyata indriya. He has disciplined his sensory energy. Samyata indriya. Indriya is sensory energy. He has disciplined his sensory energy. That is why somebody abuses you. You can immediately abuse him back, but you will restrain. No, let me wait and see. Why did he abuse like this? If you are a psychiatrist dealing with a psychiatrist patient, patient will abuse the doctor. Doctor cannot return that abuse. He has to understand why he has done it. He has to help him. Then only he is a doctor. So, samyata indriya, you control and discipline your sensory system. Then you develop a new mastery through a new energy. Then life becomes a pleasure to live in. You don't remain a creature of circumstances. Jnanam dadva param shanti machirena adhigacchati. When you get this jnana, in no distant time, you will achieve supreme peace. That peace coming from the center of all peace, namely the Atman, that Brahman, that Atman, that is absolute peace. That peace we shall realize in ourselves. Shantoyam Atma, the Upanishad said. What is the Atman? Pure Shanti is the Atman. Pure peace, where all tensions have been resolved. That is called the Atman. That is our true nature. So, Jnanam Ladva Param Shanti Nachirena. Soon, not at all too late, Adhigacchati. You get that peace. When I was asked to speak in the Deakin's University in Australia, near Melbourne, 86, that TV cassette also, they have given me one here. Their subject was religion and international peace. There this subject is. That peace that comes from the deepest level of the human personality alone is peace. At the sensory level, there is only tension. At the psychic level, there is only tension. A touch of the Atman can bring a little peace within the human system. If you realize the Atman fully, then you become a center of infinite peace. This is the growth of man from the physical to the spiritual dimension. The students were all there, all university students. They had the subject, taking notes. They were very happy. They have not heard this kind of presentation. Vedanta gives you a new insight into this subject. So, Jnanam Dadhva Param Shanti Nachirena Adhigacchati. Nachirena. Chirena means long after. Nachirena, not at all long after. Very soon you will achieve that supreme peace. On the contrary, Ajnascha Ashwadadhanascha Samshayatma Vinashyati Nayam Loguvastina Paro Masukam Samshayatmana. Ajna, the ignorant person. Ashwadadhanascha, the person without Shraddha, that cynical mind. Samshayatma, constantly doubting, that man perishes. He won't proceed higher. He will remain as he is, a creature. Samshayatma Vinashyati, full of doubts. They say today in Western psychology, in the beginning we were told the will to believe is bad. And people started questioning out of a science scheme. Now the psychologists say in America, children must be taught once again how to believe, how to believe. We have gone so far in unbelief. We have become so cynical. We have not understood the meaning of that word belief. So today children must develop a capacity to believe, the will to believe and the will to disbelieve. The will to disbelieve has gone too far. Now a little will to believe also must come to us, says American Handbook of Psychiatry, how to train young children in this idea of capacity to believe, have faith in the world, have faith in yourself. With this cynical attitude, you will never progress in life. No creativity can come to you. No man who is cynical can be creative. You can find out. Cynical man is spiritually dead. There is no further progress for him. And one-sided intellectual development makes for cynicism. That capacity to love, to understand, and to become one with others, it is that makes you creative. You are touching some deeper core in your being. So Krishna is saying here, Ajnasya, Ashraddha-dhanasya, Samshayatma, Vinashyati. 3 types. Ajna, Ashraddha-dhana, and Samshayatma. They all go together. The ignorant and the faithless and the one who is full of doubts. But here Ajna is in a wider sense. Not the villager who has not gone to school. We call he is an Ajna. That is not a real Ajna. He knows much more than you and I do about higher values. But the intellectual who is Ajna of the higher levels of life, higher values of life, they have no sense of value. That's why Ajna, Ashraddha-dhanasya, Samshayatma, all doubting, Vinashyati, such a person is destroyed. People can be extremely cynical. I spoke of the English thinker who defined the word cynical. He also said, or rather, Baker, not Baker, but called Byron. Byron was a great poet, but he was also of the nature of cynical attitude. There is not a single chaste woman in England except my mother and the Queen. Why do you omit these two? If my mother is not chaste, then I'll become a bad fellow. If I accuse the Queen of being unchaste, they will punish me and put me in jail. I have to eliminate these two. That's the language he has used. I am only telling, in every society you can find bundles of people of this nature, spiritually dead, uncreative. Something has happened to them. They have become stagnant. That is the most dangerous thing. It is spiritual death. Physical death is not so serious as spiritual death for man who is so high in evolution. Don't die spiritually. Be alive. Be full of joy, full of sense of zest in life, welfare of other people, take interest in them in this way. That's called Ashraddhavan. If that is not there, Ashraddha. Such a person, Vinashyati, he is destroyed. This kind of destruction, all creativity goes, it gets stuck up at the sensory level and there it remains. No progress at all. Mayam logosti naparo. Na sukham samshayatmana. To that kind of samshayatma, the doubting Thomas, you find such people are there plenty in society today. Neither can they enjoy this world nor achieve what lies beyond the sensory level. Nayam logosti naparo. They can't make good friends. They can't behave with other people in a happy way. Nothing is possible because they are spiritually dead. So this world they lost. And what lies beyond this, the ultimate reality, that also they lose. So Krishna says here, Nayam logosti naparo, na sukham samshayatmanaha. Now, the 4th chapter ends with 2 great verses. Wonderful, says there. Verse 41 and 42. Yoga sanyasta karmana jnana sanchinna samshayam atmavantam na karmani nibadhanti dhananjaya. Arjuna, that person who is of such and such nature, no action can bind him. He is free, even in this body, even while living and working here. What are those conditions? Yoga sanyasta karmanam. He who has renounced all actions in yoga. Spiritually he has renounced. He has transformed actions into knowledge, burned them into knowledge. Yoga sanyasta karmanam. Not merely giving up action. You leave the town, go to the jungle, you say, I have given up action. Not that type of people. who is acting, busy, and yet he has pronounced all of them in the Atma Jnana, Yoga Sanyasta Karmanam. Through yoga, he has transformed his action into spirituality itself. That person, Yoga Sanyasta Karmanam, Jnana Sanchinna Samshayam, who has destroyed all doubts through Jnana. Jnana has come, doubts have been completely destroyed. That person, Atmavantam, fully established in his own self. Such a person, no karma can ever bind. Nibadhanti Dhananjaya. That is a wonderful verse here. Yoga Sanyasta Karmanam Jnana Sanchinna Samshayam. Samchinna means destroying. Jnana, destroying all doubts. Jnana Sanchinna Samshayam. Atmavantam, self-possessed. Is all established in his own sense in itself. Atmavantam. Na karmani nibadhanti. No karmas can bind him to Arjuna. That is the last but one verse. And the last verse is similarly, therefore, if that is the truth, he is exhorting Arjuna and through him all of us in this modern age. Tasmad ajnana sambhutam kristham jnanasinatmanaha chitvainam samshayam yogamadishto tishta bharata. Therefore, this doubt that is creeping in your mind, crippling your life and action, that one try to destroy. Ajnana sambhutam. It is born out of ajnana, ignorance, absence of jnana. That's called ajnana. Because of that, it is creating doubt and uncertainties in your system. Destroy it. Tasmad ajnana sambhutam kristam. How to destroy it? Jnanasin atmana. Make jnana into a sword, cut across the jungle of doubts and confusions in you. Here jnana is compared to a sword, a very sharp sword. Asi means sword. Says, jnanasin atmana. This doubt that is within you, chitva, destroying these doubts and confusions, enam, this particular trouble that is on you now, my doubt, my difficulties, my confusions within. There is not the fire of jnana there. So I shall take jnana as a sword and cut across this jungle of doubt and uncertainties, etc. Then yoga madhishta, get into yoga, enter the path of yoga, where you are going to deal with the subject steadily. Yoga madhishta, uttishta bharata, stand up, don't be depressed. Arjuna was depressed at that time. He again and again will say, uttishta, uttishta. In the second chapter also he has said, here again he is saying it, he will say that again in the 11th chapter. Yoga madhishta, uttishta bharata. Taking the course to yoga, stand up to break down this kind of absence of faith, this doubt, all these weaknesses within. Cut them off. You can achieve it. Nature has given you the capacity. Utilize all those capacities and achieve freedom. Freedom from doubt, freedom from fear. What a beautiful message going to man from this great teacher, Sri Krishna. Tasmat ajnana sambhutam kristham jnanasin atmanaha chitvenam sanshayam yogamadhishta uttishta bharata. This is the last verse of this 4th chapter. This chapter is considered to be Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yoga. Jnana Karma Sannyasa. All karma is renounced through jnana. You don't renounce action. You transform action through jnana into jnana itself. So it's called Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yoga. This exposition gave an opportunity to Arjuna to convey his doubt. And that is the beginning of the 5th chapter. A doubt by Arjuna. So there you see the same subject. This is Jnana Karma Sannyasa. That is Jnana Sannyasa. The next chapter. fifth chapter. We shall enter it next Sunday when we meet here. Spend a minute in silence.